The story of Rhesus is a strange one. Not because of the play alone, but more because of the controversy that surrounds its authorship. Ever since the ancient times, it has been argued whether Euripides wrote this play. People say that if he did, it would have had to been a really early play, or perhaps something experimental, as a lot of things just don't feel his. At one point, there is 4 main actors on the stage instead of 3. This is unheard of in any other play that survived to this day as far as I know. There are 2 divine interventions instead of just 1, and the style in general is just different giving the character's speech. Do I have an answer for the question if Rhesus was written by Euripides? No, of course not. But in my own opinion, it does not really matter. We don't have many plays that survive from the ancient world, no matter the author, and we know there have been so much that has been lost. So even if this play wasn't written by Euripides, it was written by someone. And that someone can pat themselves on the back, because they survived the hardships of time. Not everyone is that lucky. But for the play itself, its story, it's something unusual, which is quite a theme in this play. It takes place during the Trojan War and the event of Iliad. It's not set before or after, as majority is. Again, it's not something you see. If you have read the Iliad, you are familiar with the nitrate in Book 10. And if not, don't worry. Let's just dive right into it, shall we? Our scene starts with sleeping Hector. The Trojans have built their tents close to the Greek ships, closer than ever before. They were on a winning streak. The leader of Trojan sentries disturbs Hector from his sleep, telling him that him and his men had to cut the night watch short because it looks like the Greeks are planning to escape during the night. They are lighting up beacons of fire and they have never done so before in such extent. And of course that can't be. The son of Priam wants them dead or enslaved. So he's getting ready to battle when Aeneas storms in, questioning why are all the night sentries in this tent and basically, what's all this? So Hector tells him what he heard and Aeneas is like, well, do you have like a proof that they're fleeing or is it just a vibe? And even if they're fleeing, like what are you planning to do about it? Which Hector is like, I shall use my spear, like, yeah, okay, sure, go on. Aeneas tells him exactly that if they rush into the Greek camp now, and they're actually not running away but prepared to fight, well, then the Trojans would be defeated. And so he has a bright idea. Send someone to spy on the Greeks and figure out what's going on over there. After he is sure that Hector agrees, Aeneas leaves. And so the son of Priam asks the rest of the soldiers in his tent, well, who volunteers? And you know how at school when nobody raised their hand when a teacher has a question? Yeah, imagine that, but like with Trojan soldiers. So at last a soldier named Dolon volunteers, but he has one condition. After the war is over and the Trojans have won, he wants the horses of Achilles. And Hector is like, well, those horses are very cool, but yeah, okay, they'll be yours. So Dolon goes to get ready because his plan is basically to disguise himself as a wolf. He has like an entire costume and such, and sneak his way into the camp. Easy, but effective. After Dolon departs, a messenger from the field rushes in. This really confuses Hector for some reason because he's like, it's the middle of the night and you're coming here to tell me about how our cattle is doing? Not even giving the fella the chance to speak until a bit later when he announces that no, he's not here because of the cows, but because a man who commands a mighty army sent him, Rhesus of Thrace. They have come to help the cause and also scare the local population of herdsmen by the route they chose to arrive by. After hearing these great news, Hector is like, huh? Couldn't they have arrived sooner? It's been 10 years. But sure, let him come now that we're winning. But even though he's a bit salty, he still tells the messenger to bring Rhesus into the camp. Then they basically talk it out, quite calmly I would say. Hector accuses Rhesus of being lazy and not coming to help, and Rhesus in defense is like, yeah, I had to defend my own country first, buddy, which is a fair point. Rhesus boasts how he will be able to defeat the Greeks in one single day and how he's gonna kill Odysseus because no honorable man is that smart. Hector just nods along and then he sends him to make camp for the night as he wants to hear from Dolon before doing anything reckless. He also tells Rhesus a vital information. The code word of the Trojan army is Phoebus, which is just so original and so hard to guess. All the while, Diomedes and Odysseus had the same idea as our friend Dolan, and they are on a quest to spy on the Trojans. They literally know the password of the Trojans in like 3 lines. It's not as smart as you think it is, guys. I mean, they killed Dolan for it, but anyway. They come to Hector's bed, but oh no! Hector's not there! And as they are deciding to give up, Athena shows up. Well, her voice, that is. She basically tells them to man up, that there is Rhesus nearby, and if he lives to see the life of day, all will be lost. So they should go and, do a little unaliving, and also steal his horses, because they are cool horses. She sends her 2 favorite boys off just as Paris is rushing in, because he heard that an enemy may be spying on them. But instead of Hector, boom, he finds Athena, disguised as Aphrodite. And she's basically like, it is I, Aphrodite. Nothing is happening. Go back to your post. And he does. So the boys, as in Odysseus and Diomedes, are running away with stolen horses and dead Rhesus behind them, but the Trojan guards are closely following. They circle them thinking, well, rightfully so, that they are the ones who killed Rhesus. But then Odysseus is like, no, we were actually the one who killed the spies that killed Rhesus. And how he got them to believe him? He knew the code word. A badly hurt charioteer runs towards Hector, telling him of the tragedy that has befallen his king. Hector is obviously a little bit pissed that his army, his guards, just let the spies slip in and out. The charioteer, in turn, is pissed at Hector, because he doesn't believe in any of those spies. How would the Greeks know that they arrived? No, he thinks that it was some of their allies that killed Rhesus. It's basically pointing fingers at each other, with a dead body in the middle, and then the charioteer wants to attack Hector, but he collapses before being able to do so. And Hector is not even that mad, he's just like, well, heal this man so he knows we are the good guys. And then, as if the night wasn't crazy enough, a muse appears. Specifically, the muse that is the mother of Rhesus, and she is now holding his body. She laments her son, and honestly, it's genuinely heartbreaking. At last she says that Rhesus should live again, but locked in a cave, being both man and a god. And then she leaves carrying his body. And Hector and all his Trojan warriors prepare for another day as the sun rises. The end. And that's it. Thank you for watching, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!